Hey friends, welcome or welcome back to the channel. My name is Cris and I'm the maker behind the Enchanted Skein, which is my small crochet business where I crochet and sell plushies on my Etsy store and plan to do some markets in the future. I share that journey with my small business and all things crochet, so if that's something that interests you, I hope that you'll subscribe below. In this week's video, I try to button up a lot of the back end work so that I can really focus in on crochet going forward. I also get my first ever premiere yarn haul, which was really exciting for me. And I end up going to Joann's and spending a little bit of money on some more yarn. So end up having to clean out where I store my yarn because it's a small area right now and it was quite overflowing. So let's get into this week's video. Hey, good morning. It is Monday morning, and I thought we would start off with a recap of how things went on Sunday since I didn't really record. So I set up to go ahead and get my little plushy photo shoot going, and that went pretty well as far as how the photos came out, but the backgrounds that I bought were very sparkly and there was glitter everywhere. There's glitter in here, and I did the photo shoot in another room. I also need to determine if it's a good idea to continue down that path of doing these little photo shoots or just take them outside and take pictures like a lot of people do. I wanted to kind of elevate my photos for everything that I'm posting, but the more I think about it, the more I think it might slow me down because I can't keep it up where it's just sitting there all the time for me to take a photo as soon as I'm done with a plushie. So it's something I'll have to set up where I photograph multiple ones at once so that it makes it worth the time to assemble it and take it down and everything. So I've got to give that some thought, but for now I'm pretty happy with how the photos came out. I'll put a couple of them right here so that you can see them. The other thing that I really wanted to get done yesterday was editing the first week's vlog. I wanted to finish it completely, which I did not do, but I got kind of close. It was a little disheartening editing. I was using CapCut, which is a new software to me. It took longer than I wanted it to. I think I was probably editing for about 4 hours. I also ended up with way too much footage that was not quite arranged properly. So I've taken lessons from that, and this week I'm going to try to download my footage every evening and kind of bucket it. So there's the footage of this where I'm talking to the camera, but there's also the footage of me crocheting or me working on the computer or whatever else I'm doing that they call B-roll that I need to put into a separate file folder in a sense, so that when I load it, I can cut up all the talking head stuff where I'm speaking to the camera and then overlay and do things that I need to with all of that extra stuff, because I just plotted it in order of what it was taken, and it was like 5 and change hours of stuff, even though you're only going to see snippets of it. So I just need to regroup on how I'm doing that. So that's one of my focuses for this week. My highlight of the day was I finished the purple dragon. So he turned out super cute. This is the the original one that I started to make and intended to make when I accidentally did the bonehead move of doing the pink one. So yeah, my plan for this morning is I am going to record a really quick kind of little intro video, the ones that you see at the top of the YouTube channels. It's like a quick, what is this channel kind of video, just introducing myself and introducing, the Enchanted Skein. One thing I forgot to mention that I just reminded myself of when I said was one of the things that I really got frustrated with myself on when I was reviewing the footage was the number of times that I say so and I say and I mean, if you like drinking games, you'll be drunk in 2 seconds. I need to really try to find, I think it's just a matter of discomfort. I'm still getting used to it, but I need to find a better pause method than so or and I know I've already done it multiple times in this clip. So yeah, I just did it. The plan is I'm going to film that intro video and I am going to then sit down and plot out my tasks for the rest of this week so I know what I'm going to be working on in between my time, and then it's going to pretty much be time to start my 8 to 5. Hey, so it's just a few minutes after 5, finished up the workday. I didn't record during lunch. It's the shortest window of time that I have because I usually have things planned during that time, like today's laundry day, so I was doing laundry and, stuff like that. So I've decided to not film at lunch. What I did today, though, and what I'm going to try to make my lunch task every day is downloading the footage. So I took the footage off the camera, put it in the computer, and bucketed it into, things that are like B-roll of me crocheting versus me talking and that kind of stuff. And I already feel like editing this video is going to go much smoother than last week's did. So that's the plan for lunch going forward. I'll let you know if anything changes, but so far that's what I'm thinking. This morning, after I finished filming the little intro video, I sat down and I did have some time left over. So I went over all of my tasks for the week. I added a bunch more and I came to realize I started feeling a little overwhelmed, but I came to realize that there is a lot to do, but it's across like 3 main pillars for the things I want to do to launch everything. So those 3 pillars are basically the social media stuff, which I'm working on right now, obviously. The next one is what I would kind of categorize as sales prep. So I want to launch the store as if I'm ready for sales day 1. So I want to figure out like, what does my packaging look like? Am I getting colored tissue paper? I don't know. Like, how much do boxes cost? So that's one of the areas that I need to put some focus of my time on as well. And then the third, obviously, is inventory. I need to crochet. The plan for this evening is I'm going to go figure out dinner with the family. My plan is to do a little bit of work on the packaging piece, and I'm going to film this evening while I crochet. Good morning. It's Tuesday. Yesterday evening was pretty productive. I ended up editing the last week's vlog, which hopefully by now you will have seen. And I'm okay with it. I don't love it. Watching yourself back is not always fun, and you want to go back and change things, but done is better than perfect. I got a little caught up in analysis paralysis after that. I wanted to crochet, but I couldn't figure out what to crochet. So what I ended up doing was folding up the names of things that I want to create into little pieces of paper, and I tossed them into this 3D printed dragon egg that I have on my desk, swished it around, pulled out a piece of paper, and ended up letting the universe decide for me that I was going to make a rat. So I made this little cutie here. I'll put the pattern creator up on screen. I ended up making this using Hobby Lobby yarn, and that's not something that I've used very often. It so happens I was in a Hobby Lobby, this is a long time ago, and they had this velvety smooth yarn in these 2 colors. I thought they would make a perfect possum, and at the time I had just bought the pattern for this adorable possum. And I ended up making 2 of these. One is actually hanging from my chandelier. I put a little wire in his tail, so he's hanging from there, and I get to see him every day. And then I had enough to make this rat as well, and I have just a little bit left. But this was awesome because it was a quick make. It's done. I'll add it to the list of things I need to photograph, and we're good. So this morning before work, I am going to work on editing the little intro video that I recorded yesterday morning. I don't think it'll take too long. It's fairly short. It should be fairly short. So I'm hoping within the hour I can finish that. And then, yeah, I will check back with you guys after work. Hey guys, it is finally after 5. Today was a really long day when it comes to work. This morning, I attempted to edit that video that I recorded as like an intro to the channel, and I absolutely hated it. It felt very like disingenuous, and I did kind of script some things out, and I didn't like it. It felt stiff. It didn't feel like me. So I scrapped it. I'm going to try to re-record it maybe like on Saturday when I'm feeling a little more relaxed, because when I recorded that, I had limited time before work and all that. So I think maybe that had to do with it. I ended up switching gears and just kind of doing some calculations to figure out if I want to have my strategy in place of having 30 days worth of Instagram content, for example, what would that lead me to? And I ended up calculating that I would need 17 reels and 13 static posts. I'm not too concerned with the 13 static posts because I think with the photos of my plushies and stuff like that, I feel like that's fine. The little carousels of pictures aren't a big deal. But the 17 reels had me a little like, because I basically have 6 at this point. I took some footage of the purple dragon, so I just have to edit that, and then that'll be 6. I still don't have music for them, and I still have to add the cover. So I'm feeling a little behind, but That's okay. I think during the weekend I can catch up. I decided what I want to do is launch the Instagram like the middle of April so that I have a week or two, and then the Etsy store May 1st. So that's what I'm shooting for. So I think I have enough time to catch myself up as far as the content goes. I'm crocheting stuff, so I should be able to get all of that together. But anyway, that's kind of where my head was this morning. At lunch, I did transfer the footage over and labeled it, and I do know that that is going to help with editing this video when the time comes. So that is a good thing. I am going to work on doing the covers and really finalizing those reels, putting them in my drafts so that they're there and I know, and I can kind of mark those as done and be done with that as of tonight. So I did get something kind of exciting a few minutes ago delivered to me, which is my premiere order, my first ever order of Premier yarn. So I'm super excited to open that up. So we'll do a quick little yarn haul, the first yarn haul. It's not enough for a box, unfortunately, but I got a lot of single colors just so I could try them out. I have used Premier Parfait Chunky before. I got it from a company called Hirschner's, and it was just for some specific stuff that I was crocheting and I wanted to use it on, but I've never gotten it from a perspective of trying colors out or like for inventory. So it's super exciting. And they have some new colors, so that was pretty cool. I got 3 of this color called Goblin. So I'm super excited for this because I want to make my Forest Guardian in that color for sure. And then I got from their Neons collection a green and a pink neon and this pom-pom mixed color because I'm dying to do a dragon. I think it's Mom Stitch Eddie did one in that black color with the bright neon pops of color with like green down the spine and stuff. Oh, I had to do it, so I want to do that. I got 2 white and a baby blue. I got 2 of those spotted ones, and then I got a pink and a different blue shade because I wanted to kind of combine these 2 blues in something. I don't know what yet, but we'll see. And then I got the darker pink to go same kind of thing with the lighter pink. A lot of those tone on tone things work really well for different things like axolotls and little whatnot. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. I already have a little bit of a dark purple, so I got a lighter purple to go with that. It's not a huge haul, but for me, it's super exciting because I've never ordered directly from them before, and I've never been able to order like a mass like this. So it's a small mass, but it's my mass. I'll take it. Anyway, gonna go start working on those reels. Hubby's cooking dinner tonight, so that's awesome. I don't have to do that. I can get started right away. I might take a break in between once we do have dinner because I am feeling really, really tired, but we'll see how that goes. I'm excited to jump in and crochet the next wisp. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you know how it goes. Here's my little haul. Yay! I'm so excited. Good morning. It is Wednesday. Last night was not as productive as I would have liked it to have been, but I did learn things. I went into CapCut and started setting those cover photos for the reels that I have. And then when I did an export, I realized that it was exporting 2 files. It was doing an image file and then the video, which confused me. So I know I had already put a reel into Instagram. So I went in my phone, went into Instagram, pulled that up and realized you can set the cover photo right there. You're just picking a frame of the video. So I don't need to do all that extra work in CapCut, which is good. But I also realized that I probably need to get over this hump or blocker that I have being an old person that I cannot do stuff in my phone, or at least maybe in the iPad. So I think what I'm going to do is put Instagram and CapCut on the iPad and start doing some of the edits and things there, because it's just probably going to be more efficient that way. Then I don't have to, take footage from the phone to the computer, do the edit, put it back in the phone, blah, blah, blah. I can do everything kind of in the iPad. If I sync, I can put the files in the cloud. So I think that's going to be my approach this morning. Oh, and last night after that and computer time was over, I started crocheting and I started working on the wisp. I got this far. I was going to use yellow, but the boys thought blue might be a better approach, and I think they were right on that. So, but I had to stop there because I need to do eyes, and I was not going to paint safety eyes last night. So what I need to do this morning, I'm going to try to multitask in a sense. I am going to set up to paint the safety eyes for this and another upcoming project. And then I'm going to, while I'm doing that, watch a video or listen to / watch a video on how to do the editing in the iPad itself so that I can kind of do a crash course in that and hope that, that'll make things a little easier. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna head off to do now. Grab a cup of coffee because I need it and get started on some safety eyes. Hey, just thought I would check in before I get started on my work day. This morning feels like a bit of a bust. I went to paint the safety eyes and I don't have the right size for the wisp. So the wisp is going on hold for a bit because I need to get safety eyes in the right size to be able to finish it. I am down to my last size 30 millimeter for the other project that I needed eyes for. So I'm going to go ahead and order those as well. I went to sync footage from my phone to my iPad so I could try the whole editing thing. And it's literally still syncing. I didn't have it set up where it was backing up to each other or whatever. So I am letting that run so that it can be done. I did watch the video on how to edit, so I got some good information there. I just haven't been able to try it out because I don't have the footage on my iPad. So I downloaded Instagram to it, got logged in and everything. So I'm all set up to do that. I'm not sure how much time I'm going to have after work today because we do a family dinner out every other Wednesday. So we're going to go out to dinner, which is good. I can't wait for that, but I don't know how much time that's going to leave me. Once we get back, I might just end up doing some crocheting. I've got to move on to a different project because I can't finish the wisp. So I'll pull something else from the magical dragon egg to see what I'm going to work on next. And we'll go from there. Actually, I'll do that real quick. All right. We are doing a skull. Anyway, it's time for the workday to start, unfortunately, but I got to pay the bills. So I'm going to get started on that and then I'll check back in with you probably after work because I don't think I'm going to record during lunch. We'll see. Hey guys, it's Thursday morning. Last night was actually pretty productive and I was surprised by that because I think I mentioned it. My hubby wasn't feeling good. I started to not feel so great, so we didn't go out to dinner. We just stayed in and I ended up grabbing the computer and jumping on there and getting a bunch of stuff done. So I ended up finishing my complete list of patterns. So now, and that would have already been linked in last week's video and linked below so that I can share any patterns I talk about and the links to those so that those creators are credited for that work. I also completed my preliminary inventory list. So everything that I've created that's on my shelf there where I'm kind of plopping everything right now is in my list. And I started to come up with what I thought starter prices would be for it just in my own mind. I know that's going to be something that I struggle with as far as pricing things appropriately because for me it's just fun to make it and I'm kind of like, wow, if somebody wanted to buy it, that's awesome. But I really want to be sure that I am not undervaluing the work that's involved by other creators as well. So my plan is to take that list and go onto Etsy and a few other places and try to see if I can find similar plushies, either same kind of pattern being used or similar designer concept, like a dragon, same size, to see what other people are charging for it. I know as a new shop, I'll probably price slightly lower, but I definitely don't want to undervalue what others are pricing things at because I get it. And if this was my full-time job and that's how I made an income, then I would be charging per hour and the time it takes and stuff like that. For me, it's just a hobby in the evenings. Last night, I started crocheting a new pattern and it's a skull, which I thought was really cool, but I'm not loving how it's coming out. No shade to the pattern designer. It's a cool pattern. I was just struggling, and I think that's partially because my brain was not braining at that point. So I just stopped on that. I started to pick it back up again this morning thinking I'd work on it with my time before work, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to just let that one wait a little bit. I started working on the pattern that I wanted to kind of make as my passion project, which was an Enchanted Skein themed. I was going to use the unicorn pattern because I love these feet, but another pattern's coming out soon for a unicorn or Pegasus or whatever it is that I really like the body shape of better than the body shape of the pattern I have now. So I'm thinking I'm going to do a mashup when that pattern comes out, take the parts that I like most from each and kind of put them together. I'll of course credit both designers, I hope that's not frowned upon in the crochet community. I don't know if I've seen that done before, but I'm going to take the parts I like and put them together. It's really more for me. I should probably focus on inventory, but I got to have fun too. So the plan for today is just I'm going to reorg some of my tasks. I got a lot more of them done last night than I expected to. So I'm going to re-go through those, set myself up for the rest of today, and then go from there. So I will check in with you a little later. Hey guys, it's the end of the workday. Finally, it felt like a really long work day, even though it really wasn't, but it's over. It's done. This evening, I think we're going to go ahead and go out to dinner since we didn't go last night. Everybody seems to be feeling a little better. No one has symptoms of anything or anything like that. So I think we were just all kind of feeling drained. There was a lot going on in the household and family stuff going and all this stuff. So anyways, I think we're going to go to dinner. So I don't know that I'll have too much time this evening by the time I get home. If I have any time on the computer, my plan is to kind of start making a list of things that I need if I were to, or when, let's talk like it's happening. When I sell something, what are all the things that I need? So obviously like boxes, am I going to put tissue paper? Because I grabbed some stuff off of Amazon's sale. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but one of the things I did last night when I was on the computer was checked out the spring sale they were having and grabbed a few things that were like really discounted. So I want to go through the list and make a list of what else I might need so that if I find anything at a really good deal and it's something I would have bought a month from now anyway, I'll go ahead and buy it now. So I'm going to take a look at that, and then I think I'm going to try to finish the skull pattern. I don't like leaving stuff half done. Tomorrow's Friday, which gets me super excited because then right around the corner is Saturday, where I feel like I have 8 extra hours that day to do stuff. So it makes sense, right? Oh, and at lunch today, I not only transferred the footage, but I also started a rough edit to let CapCut run some stuff. So I think this weekend's edit is going to go really smoothly, which is really cool. So I will check back in with you tomorrow morning and let you know how things got on this evening. It's Friday. This week felt so long. I'm so glad to finally be on Friday. I have so many thoughts and ideas for things to do this weekend, so I'm really excited about that. Last night we did go to dinner, so I didn't have a ton of time after getting back from dinner. I didn't do any computer work. My eyes were really tired, but I did end up finishing the skull pattern, and it came out pretty cute. I actually like it. I didn't until I put in the black insert, and then it kind of came together at the end there. So that was pretty cool. I don't know that it's something that I'm going to necessarily put up on the market. Maybe at Halloween time, it could be an add-on or something like that, but it's a good bit of concentration and effort to execute some of that, or at least it was for me. So I feel like I don't know that it would be worth the price to someone. I don't know. We'll see. But it's done. I also started a black loaf cat. So I want to do another larger size loaf cat. I'm pointing like you can see what I'm talking about, but I got to the point of where it needs eyes. And so this evening I'll probably end up painting some eyes, if not tomorrow. But I think I kind of need to figure that out because I really like painting the eyes once I get started on it. It's almost like I'm going to give it its personality or something. I don't know. But I gave consideration to painting a bunch of different colors and then just having them on hand. It would make things a lot faster. But yeah, I don't know. I'll think about that. Maybe for things that I pre-planned the colors for, I can get some painted and have them ready. It's definitely more efficient to sit and paint in one sitting. This morning, as per usual, I have about an hour before work starts. What I'm going to do this morning is I'm going to try to print out some of the things I've created, like the little business card mock-ups, the thank you card mock-ups. I'm going to go set that printer up, see if I can print a few of those samples, if they come out any better. If they don't, I'm not sure what I need to do. I'll make some tweaks in Canva. I've not really ever used it for printable goods. And I want to use Canva's print services to print the stuff, but I'm scared that it's going to come out looking the way it's looking when I'm printing it here. So I want to make sure I can get a good clean print of it before I would actually pay for something to be printed. Okay, so that went really well, actually. I'm kind of surprised at how well that went because I haven't used this printer in forever. But basically, what was happening, and I don't know if this will show on camera, but when I was looking at my instructions and everything, they were coming out kind of hazy in the print, and I wasn't sure if it would be able to be crisp once it was printed on better paper. There's still a little bit of haziness here on this, but I think that's more because the printer hasn't been used in a really long time. Some of the ink is kind of bleeding through, but this is at least showing me that I'm kind of on the right track. And then also, I think what I need to do is consider maybe not using my font in this smaller text, because I think the font might be what's making it a little difficult, because it has to be smaller text, but it's more of a decorative font. So what I might do is change things up so that it's a more crisp font on the verbiage part, and then maybe just like the little key things have my custom font, not my custom, I didn't, customize it, but the other font that I chose on there, and that might crisp things up a little bit. And then I can see where, like, on my discount code, I need to, I don't know if that's going to focus, but I need to make that font bigger, which I think I already did on screen. It just might not have been on this export. And I want to really make sure that the QR codes are picking up. I'm just trying to think though, if they ordered from me already, they know how to get to my Etsy. Do I need the Etsy QR code on here? The Instagram one is handy if they want to follow and they didn't find me through that, but I don't know. I'll give that a little thought. I might modify it, but I don't know where I would put it. Because yeah, if they ordered from me, that would have been off of Etsy. So I don't need to tell them how to get back to Etsy. Grr, all these things, because I want to order like 100 of them just so that the price makes sense. I don't think printing them at home makes a ton of sense it was like $20 to print 100 of them. So buying photo paper for both sides, or thick enough paper for both sides, enough cost that plus ink. So, and my printer's not the greatest. It's like I said. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to play with another design and see about maybe doing it that way. And that might solve for giving me a little more real estate. And I'm going to tweak the fonts. So that's what I'm going to work on the rest of this morning. And I will circle back and kind of show you what I came up with at the end. Okay, that was definitely a worthwhile adventure. I switched up the font. I don't know if this will show on camera, but it's a lot more clear. And the only thing I need to figure out now, if I really want to see a real world print of it, is the scale. Because I have a temporary kind of discount code and circle here, but that needs to be a certain size for the sticker that I'm going to put over it. So I'm either getting it to print ginormous or too small, even though it says 100% scale. So I'll figure that part out maybe at lunch. I got about 5 minutes to get myself together for work. So I'm going to head out and do that. But this was awesome because I really want to just mark these as done so that I'm ready to click order when we're just a little bit before launch of the store. So this was good. I'm happy with this. Hey friends, the day is finally over. The week is finally over. It's the weekend. Woo! This evening, I might go run a quick errand, but I don't plan on doing any computer work. I actually got all of my computer work that I wanted to do today done at lunch. Hubby was off work today. He cooked us lunch, so all I had to do was eat real quick, and then I got in and started working. Finished my thank you cards. I finished my business card design, and I finished my price tag design, because those are kind of the 3 principles that I think I'm going to want to have. The tags I don't necessarily need until I do markets in person, but I might tag items anyway, just so I can have like the little warning on there about the safety eyes and stuff like that. I haven't quite decided yet, but either way, it was in there. I was designing. I was on a roll. I did it. It's done. So this evening is going to be all crochet. I'm actually going to start crocheting the Forest Guardian, which I'm so excited to use that pattern. I haven't yet, so that's going to be cool. And tomorrow I will take it and the loaf cat that I started last night and do the safety eyes. So I have a few things in store for us tomorrow, one of which will be painting those safety eyes and then focusing on getting those 2 things complete. The Forest Guardian's a little bit complex, so I don't know if that'll be complete by tomorrow, but I'm excited for tomorrow. We have a lot of hours in the day, so I'll see you back in a little bit when we crochet this evening. Got this far on the Forest Guardian tonight, so we're at the point where I need to put the eyes in, so to be continued tomorrow. Hey, good morning. It's Saturday finally. Yay! So this morning, hubby is actually cooking us breakfast, which is awesome. So I'm going to take a few minutes to clean up my desk. It's getting kind of overwhelmed with stuff that I've just been placing here. And then I've got some adulting I need to do and things that are not small business or crochet related, whatever. So I'm going to get that stuff done. And then I think I'm going to work on the computer for a little bit. My goal is to try to wrap up as much as I possibly can of any of the back end work I need to do so that going into next week, any of those hours I have, I don't have to spend on that. I can focus on crocheting and recording and getting, those reels together and stuff like that. Because what I've started to realize is that back end paperwork kind of has an end. I know there's going to be stuff I have to maintain as far as like keeping track of things, but the setup of everything is just a one-time deal. And then after that, I have all that time back and I want to focus more on crocheting. And then this afternoon, hubby and I are going to lunch and there's a Joann's right by the place that we're going to. So I'm going to go there, get some yarn probably if they have any. And then after that, we're going to sit down and rearrange my yarn because my stash is getting bigger than the space that I keep it in. I have a closet where I can put all of my duplicates and backups. And I'm staring at my Premier Parfait Chunky that we did the haul for, and I want to have it out where I can see it. So back over here, I have that little cubby set up with my yarn, and I keep some here. I'll show you in more detail later, but we're going to rearrange that together today and see if we can't get, at least one of each color on display. I'm going to go have some breakfast now, and then I'll check back in with you when I sit down to get some of this computer stuff done and see what we've got there. I work in technology, and one of the first things I started thinking about was relational databases and doing all this whole stuff with my stuff. And I made it a little too complex, honestly. So I'm going to take some time this morning to clear that up, clean it up, make it a little bit more simple and easy to use for myself, because that's the most important thing right now. And if I get to the point where I need to build complexity into it, then I'll have set myself up so that I can do that at that point. But I certainly don't need it out of the gate. So I'm going to work on cleaning that up, take a look at the last few tasks that I have that are more back end stuff and see how I can plan to just knock those out so that, again, I can use that time to do more crochet. And I definitely need to focus on some of the social media stuff because I haven't really been doing great with that. I need to get my poop in a group on that one. All right, so I finished up doing what I think is right for the SKU numbers, and I reverted back to what I had. I can't help it. I'm a data girl. It might be more complex than it needs to be, but I just can't. I can't take the data out of the girl. So it's a little more complex than your average Joe might make it, but it's what I do. It's what I do every day. I love it. I love data. So it's data heavy, but that's okay because it's for me, right? I'm working on it. It's mine. No problem. What I'm going to do right now is just sit down and record the intro video that I had recorded before that I absolutely hate. So I'm not bringing any talking points with me. May or may not be a mistake. We'll see. But I'm just going to sit in front of the camera, tell everyone a little bit about the Enchanted Skein, a little bit about myself, why you see me wearing the same shirt all the time. If you're interested in figuring that out and you haven't watched that video, I will link it here because it will be released before this one. But I'm going to go record that now so that I can get that edited and get that up. And then that'll be 2 videos ready for the channel. Tomorrow I edit this one and that'll be 3. We need 4 to reach our goal, and that's going to be awesome. Super happy about that. And then the next thing I'm going to do is probably button up a little bit so that we can go to lunch because we'll be close to that time by then. And then when I get back from lunch, I'll probably have a yarn haul if Joann's has anything left in the shelves. And then we will go through this yarn rack thing that I have over here and clean that out because it's very full, and that's okay. I love it being full, but I want to take out all the duplicates. I think I said this already so that I can put in that, but we'll go through that when I get back. Just got back from Joann's. I may or may not have purchased more yarn. Let's start cleaning it out because I got to find a place to put all of it. Right, So these few skeins here have already been started. So I'm going to cake those to put them on the wall. I'll show you that in a second. Not that you haven't seen it in the background before, but, and these skeins are overflow. So these are going to go in the closet. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 extra skeins. So you've seen this behind me, but this is where I'm keeping all of the cake yarn. So I am going to wind up the stuff that needs to go up here and get that up there so that that's done. It's 2 o'clock. So I'm thinking I'll probably figure out what size safety eyes work for the Forest Guardian and the Loaf Cat that I'm in the middle of and sit down and paint those. It's 3:15 and I just finished the eyes. The backs of these are drying, so I'm not sure if the camera will pick up the glitters in them. But I'm not exactly thrilled with the ones for the cat. I need to put them in the cat to see if I like them. If I don't, I might be back to the drawing board on that one, but I can't do that until the back is dry. Um, on some of the ones, I like to use a white paint on the back. I think I'm going to go find a white resin so that I can cure it more quickly. But I am really happy with how the ones for the Forest Guardian came out. Hopefully the camera picks that up. So these I'm really thrilled with. So if anything, that'll probably be what I continue crocheting if I don't like the ones for the cat. Dinner is done. Computer work is done. I went and put the eyes in these guys. So he's set, but I realized these bobble stitches are off. So I need to relocate that one before I button him up. And then this guy's eyes are in as well. So I am just going to get in my jammies and sit on the couch and crochet away the rest of the evening. Tomorrow's a no film day. The plan for tomorrow is 2 things. The first thing is I'm going to work on this menagerie here and get this back to whatever I feel like doing tomorrow, and to get all the video edits done for everything so that I have a count of how many reels I have done. I'll have these 2 vlogs done, and then the intro video that I recorded earlier, I'll get that done. So all the editing will take place tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching this week's vlog, and I'll see you Monday morning. Bye.